Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. If you like The Mike Wagner Show and you want to make your own podcast, well, let me tell you about Anchor. First of all, it's free. Secondly, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. You can also add any song from Spotify directly to your episodes. The possibilities are endless. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. You can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, many more. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios.
Hi, this is Mia Mosinzia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and sponsored by international award-winning author Mia Mosinzia of Missing. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on over 40 podcast platforms, as well as HamiltonRadio.net, Diamonds FM, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. We can be heard in over 100 countries, featuring over 1,000 well-known and amazing guests throughout the globe. And named one of the top 100 global podcasts in the New York Weekly Times, Hollywood Entertainment News, Los Angeles Weekly Times, Apple, and Chartable. So sit back and relax and enjoy another great episode of the award-winning Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Mosinzia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Mosinzia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Mosinzia has garnered great reviews and even level endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassie, Forbes, Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mia Mosinzia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com on over 40 podcast platforms, heard in over 100 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple Music. And also coming to HamiltonRadio.net, Diamonds FM, Oldies Radio, and a few other networks as well. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, baseball gear. Makes great Christmas gifts at any occasion, 24/7. Go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Mosinzia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also t-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, and also phone cases and more. Amazon.com/Mia Mosinzia. Check it out today. Also support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can also buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com at the Mike Wagner Show. Make sure you do so today. We're here with an amazing actor, writer, director from New York City, now based in Los Angeles. Began his career at a young age in Northern California, performed at the Gaslight Theater. Also comedy, sports, So I Married an Axe Murderer, Angels in the Outfield, plus number of ads, including Corn Nuts. He also appeared on Smash TV, Street Smarts, Senseless, and Dirt Merchants, and more. And began directing and scripting in 2010. And he's also done Horror of Love, Fright House, My Undeadly, featuring Michelle Tomlinson, Love Potion #8, Rotting Love, and more. And this guy has just really branched out, made a big name for himself. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios in beautiful downtown Los Angeles, we have the amazing actor, writer, director, and he'll be talking about one of his recents we've been raving about. Ladies and gentlemen, the multi-talented Dave Reda. Dave, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Wow, that was quite an introduction.
Well, what can I say? I've been looking through your list here. It's almost like a king scroll. I'm trying to figure out. It's like, how do I get to condense this? Maybe you could have helped me out.
No, you made that sound so good. I want to listen to me now, which is unusual.
Well, you know something too. It's like I'm sure there's opportunities one day, and perhaps you can interview me one day. So I'll let you be in my chair. So we'll just have to trade places, swap brains, or whatever it is, telekinesis or something. Just don't kill each other. So.
Oh, careful mentioning the word brains, because I am a zombie. So I mean, you said the magic word there.
Ooh, I guess that brought out the best in you or something. So
I mean, I am known as Zombie Dave. So I mean, grr.
That's right. Yeah. So you grew up in New York City and began your career at a young age.
Actually, no. I was born in New York City, but grew up in Northern California, San Jose, actually.
Okay, that's what part I was going to get to. You performed at the Gaslight Theater, Comedy Sports. So I Married an Axe Murder. Also, Angels in the Outfield, plus numerous ads, including Corn Nuts. You appeared on Smash TV, Street Smart, Senseless, also Dirt Merchants, and you began directing and scripting in 2010 with Horror of Love, Fright House, My Undeadly, featuring Michelle Tomlinson, who I had on the show. Also, Love Potion number 8, Rotting Love, and more. And we'll also talk about your recent As Good as Dead. So that's been getting a lot of good reviews. And before getting to all that, Dave, tell us how I first got started.
How I first got started?
Yes.
I was up there in Northern California, and I just always really wanted to act and was doing the school plays and whatever. And my family, the Redas, back in the 30s and 40s and a little bit of the 50s, they had a bunch of drive-in theaters, the Reda drive-in theaters and regular theaters, the Reda theaters all over Kentucky. They had those there, but then, as times changed, they closed them down and moved to California, and then I got to out here. So, I mean, it's just always kind of been in my blood to do this. And it's just something that's always been in me. And then as a little kid, hearing my dad and my grandpa luckily when I was a kid, VCR technology came out. So my grandpa and my dad were able to watch all these movies that they had shown in their theaters back in the day. And just hearing them talk about how the movies affected people and how the audiences were going through this, like in the real world, they were going through this horrible thing, but then they'd come in the theater and then for a little while they'd go on this adventure or go on a Western thing or cry or see what, some amazing thing. And they just get taken away for a little while. And what them as running the theater, seeing what it did to the people, it was just an amazing thing. And then listening to all these stories, it just made me always want to do it. And just always, I think just from birth, I just really just always wanted to be a part of this world. And then luckily I got a chance even though being in Northern California, you don't really get that many opportunities to do national commercials and things like that. Usually they cast them somewhere else, like usually in LA or whatever. And then they bring that crew and whatever to San Francisco and then film there. But luckily they were actually doing casting in San Francisco at that time for the Corn Nuts commercial. And I did that commercial. And then once that I did that commercial and it went national in the early 90s, everybody was like, okay, now you have to go to LA. And so that's what brought me here. And then I began doing that.
That's really interesting. And what was that one exact precise moment that simply influenced you into what you're doing for the rest of your career?
One moment. Honestly, it's such a weird thing. When I was a little kid, I remember I was very little. I'm about to age myself, but I'm not going to say how old I was, but I was very little. And I really wanted to see this movie Clash of the Titans. And it was in the movie theater, the original Clash of the Titans, by the way. And I was so excited to see it. I've been wanting to see it. And my dad took us to the movie theater. When we got there, all the tickets were sold out.
Wow.
And so I was really bummed out. My dad comes to the car and he's like, yeah, I couldn't get tickets to Clash of the Titans, but I got tickets to another movie. Do you want to see that? And, when you're a little kid, you don't want to go home. At that point, you're like, but you're bummed and you're angry and you're upset, but you don't want to go home. You still want to see a freaking movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, well, what's this movie? And my dad's like, I don't know, because my dad is so good at making me not know what's going on.
All dads really do that. Surprise.
Oh, my dad fully playing with my mind. He goes, I don't know, it's this movie about an archaeologist. I heard it's pretty good. Let's just go see it. And I go, okay, whatever. I don't really want to go to school right now. I don't really want to see that kind of thing, but whatever. So I'm sitting in there and I'm really mad. I'm really upset. And I'm just kind of paying attention and I'm watching the movie and the movie's going and whatever. Then all of a sudden, this gigantic boulder starts chasing the lead dude. And of course, he realizes it's Indiana Jones. I look over at my dad and I'm like, what kind of movie is this? And I just remember at that moment being sucked. I mean, you're watching this boulder chase Indiana. If you're not in the movie by then, and it was just, I was so in. I remember at the end of the movie having this even as a little kid, having this realization of, wow, I was so sad inside and so upset about not getting to see this other movie. And I had no idea how cool this other movie was, because after that point, I went home, made my own little whip. I was playing Indiana at home, but I remember leaving the theater. I just remember thinking, like, I was so upset and so angry, and then yet this whole other story and adventure came in and took all that anger, all that away, and instead replaced it with this incredible adventure and a new hero that I didn't even know existed. And it just, how easily and quickly the movie was able to take my mindset from this to this, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I just remember just how it made such an impression on me that I just wanted to be in that world. I wanted to not only get to play Indiana in front, on camera and at home with my friends, but also I just really I had a sense of, I just wanted to be in this world somehow, some way.
Oh my gosh, that is so fantastic. I think that was a really good period. Yeah, it's Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and in that era, it's like, it was so amazing.
Oh man.
And I have to say this, I thought the time King Kong was better than Star Wars. Boy, was I wrong. I found out later. That's the wrong time.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. And who are some of your other favorite actors and actresses, and also your favorite movies growing up?
Growing up, of course, I was really inspired by the Universal classics. I was blessed to have, like I said, my parents, they ran a lot of movie theaters and whatever in the 40s and 50s in Kentucky. So they just had a really good sense of old school, what was good to watch. And I was blessed early on with my dad just throwing one great classic film at me after another. And I got a really good sense because of that. I feel like the best, a lot of industries that you're in, like if you want to be a great plumber, you can go hang out with a plumber, journeyman with this plumber, and he'll tell you, and teach you his skills and tell you how to do exactly how he does what he does. And you can learn and expand from that. Acting and directing and writing and whatever, it's sort of a different thing. No one in this industry, no one really wants to give away their secrets, because if you write like they do, then you'll get their jobs, right? So everybody's very guarded about what they do. So the only way I feel one of the only ways to really learn is to glean this knowledge from the classics, from the movie, from great movies. You watch these movies and you watch them once for entertainment, and then you watch them again to go, okay, how did they do this? Or why did they do this? Or why does the story do this? And why do I like it so much? And you break it down, and then these are your teachers. I was blessed with a lot of Universal classics, the monster movies, which are just all great stories. And then growing up at the time that I did, I had a video store right across the street from my house in the early 90s. So I got a chance to see one great 80s horror movie after another. And that really, with the Universal Classics, along with luckily being just happened to be the time, getting to see movies from George Romero, Wes Craven, John Carpenter. These guys really, Toby Hooper, these guys really helped Clive Barker's stuff. I mean, it just really helped me write and create the movies the way that I do in this modern world. And I feel like everybody has that love for 80s movies. So luckily for me, in 2022, I'm trying to create movies that have that 80s feel to them. Okay. So, yeah.
Okay. And how does Universal Movies different from the other companies as well, too? You mentioned Universal a lot. It's like, how does it differ from the others?
The Universal classic movies, they're just so iconic when you're talking like Frankenstein, Dracula, King Kong, Creature, Black Lagoon, Mummy. They're just so iconic. And the stories they tell, they stand the test of time. They just stuck with me so much. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't even know how to say why. I just feel the storytelling and just those the iconic monsters. I felt like as a kid that these guys like Creature from the Black Lagoon, Frankenstein, Dracula. These guys were my friends, And I just had such a connection with them. Who's to say why? Maybe because I'm a freaking weirdo. I don't know.
Well, look at it this way. We're all unique in different ways as well, too. Just like Frankenstein was unique. I'm sure Dracula was cool. And of course, you also had the others, King Kong. Hey, I love to hang out with that party animal, that type. So
oh hell yeah. Like Creature from the Black Lagoon, I always love that. If you look at artists when they take liberty with the Creature of the Black Lagoon, if you'll notice, he's always drawn in like Hugh Hefner's Playboy jacket and stuff like that, because the creature is just what was he doing? He was fine in the Black Lagoon, but then he sees the hot chick in the bikini and he's like, I have to have that. And he goes after it and winds up in some cases dying, depending on the movie, but at least getting chased and killed over it. And so I just love that artists depict him as he's just the playboy. He's just like the Creature of the Black Lagoon of all the monsters. He's the monster that's like, hold on a second, there's a hot girl over there, and I'm just gonna swim right over there. And no, I'll get what you're saying, but hold on. He's just a playboy.
He's just dying for love. You could say that. He's just dying for love.
And there's so many fish in the sea, right?
That's right. Yeah. When I think of that suave, Hugh Hefner or Playboy stereotype, I also think of werewolf as well, too. Werewolves in London, they howl and everything. It's like, that's another one that just comes to mind, too. It's like, go on forever and ever, I'll tell you.
Werewolf's the wingman, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Wingman, that's right.
Yeah, he's howling, the werewolf for sure. I always imagine Frankenstein is married, so he's chill, he's over there. Oh, you know what the bride said to me today? And they're all like, dude, I don't know. I have my own world of how they talk in my head, but yeah.
And I'm sure you probably get with Mel Brooks, and he likes to make fun of Frankenstein, Dracula, and all that. So it's just like,
oh my God.
Abnormal. What are you?
This will tell you why I am the way I am and how I was raised. That movie, my dad is so awesome. What my dad did to me. Okay, Young Frankenstein. One night, my dad found out it was coming on TV, so my dad decided to fuck with me as he does. And he goes, he comes into my room and he's like, Dave, all right, you know what? There's this movie coming on right now. I'm going to let you watch it. Your mom told me not to because it's probably too scary and too messed up for you. But I think you're at an age that you can handle this. So just prepare yourself because it's a really scary movie. But, I'm here if you need me. And, we're going to watch this movie, but just just try not to be too scared. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like prepared for this horrible movie. And then Young Frankenstein's going, and it didn't take too long before I'm like, what the hell? And my dad just starts laughing his ass off. So I mean, I was already in, and then getting that switcheroo just made me love that movie even more. You know, my dad was so good at that. You know,
Oh, it was great.
Still so good at it. Yeah.
I still remember that. Yeah. Is that Frankenstein? No, that's Frankenstein. Remember that?
Frankenstein.
That's
Right.
right. And of course they did the putting on the Ritz. That was my favorite one right there.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, so good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I love how he feeds him a little dog treat during the performance and everything. Oh, so good. So good. So good.
And of course, he also been some good ones as well, too. Gaslight Theater, Comedy Sports, So I Married an Axe Murder, and I'd love to hear about that. We'll talk about it in just 1 minute. But first, listen to The Mike Widener Show at themikewidnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Make a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Widener Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Widener Show, international war-wing author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassie, Forbes, Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out The Mike Widener Show at themikewidnershow.com on over 40 podcast platforms, heard in over 100 countries. Take us with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Widener Show on the YouTube channel. Follow The Mike Widener Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out The Mike Widener Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books, merchandise, and more. And you can also support The Mike Widener Show at themikewidnershow.com, Anchor FM, PayPal.com, and buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com at The Mike Widener Show. Make sure you do so today. We're here with the amazing multi-talented actor and also director and also script writer Dave Reda here on the Mike Widener Show. And before we get into some of your multi-talents, including your latest As Good as Dead, you perform at the Gaslight Theater, Comedy Sports, So I Married an Axe Murder, Angels in the Outfield, and more as well, too. Tell us about some of that, and especially marrying an axe murder. What was it like working with Mike Myers on that one?
That's so funny, that movie. That's actually the first actual major set that I had ever been on. I was 18. I was a little kid. I was so green. I didn't know what you weren't supposed to do when you were on set, or I didn't know anything. I remember going to that set, and I remember there was this table, and I was hungry because we were shooting in San Francisco, and it was nighttime. And I go to this table and I go to reach out and grab an apple. And this crew guy walking by yells at me, "Hey, are you union?" And I was like, "What's a union?" I didn't even know anything about SAG or anything. I'm like, "What's a union?" He goes, "That means you're non-union. That's your table." And he points to this rickety table that was next to the table that had all this food on it. Next to it was this rickety table with like some moldy cheese and like
oh my god
cracker. And I'm just like, right there I got a sense of what it was like to be union or non-union right away, you know. But I'm like, what is this thing, union? I don't even know. And it was so funny. I was standing on this set and I was just like taking it all in because it's the first time I'd been on a major set. They were doing fake rain and everything, and I was just watching everybody bustle around, and the camera was bigger than me, and it was just such an amazing thing. And I remember I did the weirdest thing. That's something I've never done, but I was just on that set and I just closed my eyes and just was standing there like this, wishing. I was like, okay, I love this so much. I want to be a part of this world. I want to be a part of this world. And I was wishing it so hard. And then as I'm like standing there like this, I hear a voice go, "Hey, excuse me, do I know you?" And I looked up to see who was talking to me, and it's freaking Mike Myers standing right in front of me.
Oh my gosh, how do you like that?
and I go, and I'm looking at him, and I go, I know who it is, because Wayne's World 1 had just come out and everything, and I was a huge fan of Saturday Night Live.
Oh, my favorite. I loved it. Yes.
So I'm just going, and he goes, "Do I know you?" And I go, "No." I mean, I'm this little 18-year-old. I mean, there's no way you could know me, you know? And he's like, "No, I swear I know you from somewhere." And I'm like, "Dude, there's no way you know me. But I wish you did, but you don't." And he goes, all right, whatever. But I swear I've seen you around. I think I know you. And I'm like, no. And he didn't. But he leaves and he walks away. Literally right after that, they were setting the scene where it's inside a coffee shop. And again, because I'm so green, I didn't know you're not supposed to talk to the actors. And he had already spoken to me. So when they sat us down, they happened to sit me like across and diagonally across from him, but we were facing each other. And so when the crew was setting up their shot, we were just kind of waiting. I look over at Mike Myers and I go, "Hey, dude," because we'd already talked. I thought I could talk to him. And I just looked at him and I went, "Hey, dude, so how'd you get on Saturday Night Live?" And he looks over at me and he's like, "Oh, you know," and he tells me this whole story about how he auditioned for Lauren and he did actually an impersonation of Lauren, which is funny because that turned out to be the inspiration for Dr. Evil. But
Dr. Evil, yes, I read about that. Yeah. Me.
but he
dollars.
Exactly. But he was talking about that. But this was before Austin Powers and all that. But he was talking about that and telling me about that. And it was so funny because all the other actors and some of the crew were looking at me at first. Their first impression was, "Oh my God, this little like wannabe dude just started talking to the star." They were probably going to kick me off set if Mike Myers hadn't just been like, "Oh, talking to me like we knew each other." So we were just having this great conversation. And it was later on that I found out that you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to. The actors are doing their thing. You're supposed to do your thing. They're too busy. Usually they're too busy trying to remember their lines or whatever. And they have a lot going on. They don't want to deal with some kid going, "How did you get your style?" I mean, but Mike Myers, upon being a really cool dude, he knew his shit that night. And actually he was bored. And so he welcomed having this regular conversation with me. And he thought he knew me for some reason. So he was still trying to figure that out. And it was just so it wound up being the weirdest experience on set. But my first, and I got on my first set, I got spoiled. I got to talk and hang out with Mike Myers. I'm looking at Fake Rain. It was a night shoot in San Francisco. It was a beautiful night. We were by the pier. I mean, what a great introduction into this world. I got to say, I was very blessed. And then when I saw when I saw the finished product, I don't know if you've seen I Married an Axe Murderer, but I love the film. It's such a great movie. So I feel so lucky to even though I'm just a shadow in it, I feel very lucky to even have been a part of it at all.
That had to be really funny as well, too. And of course, he might have seen you at the donut shop or something, or, taking that apple, or he might have thought you're in the Angels in the Outfield as well, too. A little bit about that. And plus, you can also get into some others, too.
I did. I just done my National Cornets commercial when I got Angels in the Outfield. And I was hanging out with, I don't know if you know the lead in Angels in the Outfield. It's what's his name? Oh, I can't think of his name. Now I'm going to blank on his name. But anyway, we were my Corners commercial was so weird, and it was like that summer. If if you had seen, like they were playing it constantly with Beavis and Butthead. So if you saw Beavis and Butthead, you saw my commercial. It was just a weird thing in that time. And so I was hanging out at Angels in the Outfield set, and they were all like just talking about the Corners commercial and how weird that was. And I got because of that, I got the opportunity to actually get to do things that most people wouldn't have got to do. I kind of got like the way in a little bit. And I thought it was, at one point I got to do, one of the days I was peanut vending for Angels in the Outfield, which I was just, pretending like I was a peanut vendor throwing peanuts at everybody. That was cool until they'd reset the shot and they'd go, okay, back to one. And then everybody that I tossed peanuts to would all throw the peanuts back to me at the same time. And they'd be trying to beat me. So all of a sudden we go back to one, and then boom, 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 I get pelted with freaking bags of peanuts. That part sucked. And then I have to like reset the shot and not be angry at these people and not huck it back at them. I had to be like, normal. Oh, it sucked. But it was fun. And Angels in the Outfield was a really cool movie too. It's just weird to be on these sets and not realize what you're making when you're making it. And then you see all these cool things, all these cool things are happening. And then when you actually see the final production, it was just so amazing to be like, wow, that's actually kind of a cool movie. And I got to be in it. What I mean? Like, such a cool
that is rather fascinating as well too. I think the Angels were doing pretty good that year as well too. I think they went through so many names: Anaheim, California, Los Angeles, whatever it is, and I think they had a good year too. You also appeared in Smash TV, Street Smart, Scentless, Dirt Merchant, and then you also began to direct as well, maybe a few more appearances. And after your appearances, describe your transition going from acting over into directing and scripting in no time.
Well, in the year 2000, I was in LA here and had a couple of actor friends, and I really, really wanted to be on Saturday Night Live. That was my thing, especially after, like I wanted to follow Mike Myers' path, and I just really wanted to go that route. But I wasn't getting the auditions or the opportunities that I knew I deserved and wanted. So I knew there are two types of actors in this town: the ones that sit and wait for it, and the others that make shit happen. And I'm just too impatient to sit around and wait. So I decided to form my own little sketch comedy show at the same time that I had one of my friends who's in some of my films, Peter Redmond. He happened to own the biggest and best costume store in Pasadena at the time. We had 15,000 costumes at our availability, everything from blood, latex, cavemen to spacemen, everything we would ever need to make anything we ever wanted.
Oh, wow.
So, and then another friend of mine also worked at Public Access here in Pasadena. And he let it slip one day that it's public access, and if we wanted to, we could make our own show and they would air it. So I got all my actor friends together and people that I believe were talented. We created our own TV show, and it was a little half-an-hour show called Click This. That basically we were in control of your TV, and we would flip past channels for you. So,
that's interesting.
It was cool. You'd get a little bit of this show, or maybe a little bit, or whatever show the guy happened to be watching. Maybe he'd come back to shows, but it'd always be like a little bit further. And it was really fun. But it was we were spoofing. In order to do that, we had to spoof every genre, and we had to do everything because we were making fun of TV itself, just the whole thing. Every channel, every type of thing you would see on TV, from commercials to infomercials to movies to everything, public television even too. And but one of us, because we were all actors, one of us had to direct. I was the leader of the group. I was the one that put this together. So it just kind of seemed natural and fell to me to do. Then once I started directing, because we were making fun of all these different channels and different types of things, my show, it wound up lasting for 3 years. And it was this odd, weird little crash course on how to make movies in different genres and different styles. And so I basically sort of oddly, by accident, learned how to direct and create and these different moods and styles and things. And so we did that sketch comedy show wound up going for 3 years. We had a lot of success with it, but breaking into TV is a lot harder than having a movie and trying to sell a movie. And so then we realized that's when we had to move and make a movie. And that led me to making my first feature film, Bit Parts.
That's so interesting. I thought about the part about public access and controlling the channel as well too. It made me think of Adam Sandler's Click and Wayne's World pretty much just combined like a marriage or so.
That's so funny. The way Wayne's World would have totally been right in there. Click was cool because that was a good kind of a funny movie because we had that idea when we were trying to figure out what to do from our sketch comedy show and move to feature film. We were like, well, what should we do? And one of the ideas that went by was, what if we can control everybody with the power of a VCR thing? But we realized that we really needed to move into the horror world because we looked around when we were deciding what kind of movie to make. We saw that the number one industry in terms of money in film is porn. And we all looked at each other and were like, okay, our moms will never let us get away with this. So what's number two? And horror was number two. Horror is the second most money-making film genre because people will even buy a bad horror movie. I mean, it's crazy with horror. You know what I mean? You never know what's going to work and what's weird. And like I said, people will buy a bad horror movie just to laugh at it or have fun with it. You know, but not to mention if it's a good horror movie, they'll what they do. So horror is just where it was at, and I always had that kind of horror mind always. So it just seemed like the perfect fit, and then lo and behold, here we are today.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you also said that you started with Horror of Love as well, too. Maybe a bit about that. And of course, you'll work our way down, like with Fright House, My Undeadly with Michelle Tomlinson, Love Potion #8, and also Rotting Love as well, too. Just tell us about some of the films you also scripted, directed, and everything else, starting with the Horror of Love, and just kind of work your way down.
Yeah. Well, after Bit Parts was made, Bit Parts was written by one of my friends, John Rosenberg. Great. He actually used to write with Adam Sandler. It's funny that you mentioned Click. But I actually took him from Adam. They had just done Wedding Singer, I think, at that point. And he was just, John's such a great, talented writer and everything. I was just like, I need you on my team. And so we did the first feature, Bit Parts. After Bit Parts, I knew that I had to do more, but I was getting a lot of scripts from different writers, and I kept repairing their scripts and then sending them back. And then I realized at some point, I'm like, why am I repairing scripts when why don't I just try writing something on my, instead of repairing something, why don't I try writing something on my own? And at that time, right then, I happened to hear this song, The Horror of Our Love, written by this awesome band, Ludo. And while I was listening to it, I happened to be staring at that thing right there, which is a 6-foot-tall Jason-esque kind of character. I don't know if you can see him.
Okay.
So
ain't chance you can move up a bit closer or anything? Is that as close as we can get?
Oh, no, I can walk over there. No problem.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So I was looking at him. He was dressed like, he didn't have this mask on at the time. He had a regular Jason mask, but he's 6'7" statue of Jason, basically. And the song starts with, I'm a killer, cold and wrathful. And as it started, I was staring at that. And then all of a sudden I watched this whole little film play out in front of my head. And when it was done, I was like, that was a really cool thought, but what could I've never seen anything like it. I wonder what would happen if I actually made that film. And then, so I wrote it, we created it, and we gave him that face. And so I also thought it'd be funny is after we created a monster from the horror of our love and his iconic face and everything, I was like, wow, it'll be cool because I'll actually have if the film actually does well, then I'll have a 6'7" statue from one of my films in my house, which now I do. But anyway, that was the first thing that I had ever written on my own. It was the first thing that I ever this weird idea that I had, and I made it and put it out there, not knowing what would happen. Especially this being the first thing that I wrote completely on my own. You never know what's going to happen. And then that film, The Horror of Our Love, wound up winning everywhere. And it actually made a bigger noise than my feature film Bit Parts did.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is certainly amazing too. When I looked at it, it made me think of that guy from Iron Maiden as well too. Just very similar or strikingly. And then you had Ludo, you had the character. I mean, it was just like a marriage. It was like a marriage kind of just made together. It's just great chemistry. It's like, I looked at, it's like, at first I might have been like Iron Maiden or something, but you created better. So
it was amazing how it all connected. And then the band just really, they're such a great bunch of guys. The song itself is so catchy, and it's just, the lyrics themselves are so clever. The guy that writes the song, Andrew, he's just such a clever dude in his own right. And what he's writing very metaphorically, I just happened to take what he wrote metaphorically and not be metaphorically with it. Mm-hmm. And so it made the movie horribly sweet. Yeah. And but it definitely, like I said, it made a bigger noise than even my feature did. And it also sealed what my style would be. This would be that movie came out in 2010. Here we are in 2022, and my voice has not changed. That's when I with Horror of Our Love is when I found my voice as a writer, as a director, and the kind of films I wanted to make, which were these horribly funny and sweet things.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you also had Fright House and also My Unfriendly with Michelle.
My Undeadly.
My Undeadly, yes. Yeah, why I keep saying that?
Michelle
yeah,
Tomlinson. No. I mean, it's a weird play on. It's a weird title. The little zombie film My Undeadly with Michelle. That one killed everywhere too, and that one has its own little magic and tricks to it. And but that movie would not be what it is without Michelle and her performance in that one. I'm in it too, but and I'm doing. If you see the movie, I'm doing really weird shit, but yet it's Michelle that makes that movie for sure. She is the anchor of that film.
And certainly amazing. We had her on the show as well, and talked about experience, and also with Love Potion #8 and Rotting Love as well too. Just a couple of those.
Love Potion and Fright House. Those are two movies that are written, but they're to be made. Rotting Love is one that I did with the awesome Brooke Lewis. That was amazing little zombie weirdo film. Again, in my style, talking about that one's what, like, sometimes the relationship goes stale, and sometimes you need something to liven up the relationship. It just so happens that it took something dead in this situation because zombies show up. So with that one, it's a very interesting little crazy film that came out. I always forget. Does anybody have a sense of time properly anymore after 2020? It's like 3-4 years ago, I think. But the film I have out right now is As Good as Dead, starring the lovely Ashley Mary Nunez, Danny Shaka, and Jeffrey Dammit. And my cast and crew are amazing on this one. I have the best zombies I've ever had, thanks to Boneyard Effects, Larry Bones and Cheryl Bones over there. They made my zombies look, I mean, they're Walking Dead style zombies. They look amazing. And the way I describe that film is, you know what? It's got 80s music. It's got zombies. What's not to love?
And where can we find all your movies at, Dave?
Depending, I mean, like feature, Amazon and whatever, like Bit Parts is out there, whatever, and stuff like that. If it's a new movie like As Good as Dead, you can find me at the festivals because we have to put them through the festivals before we release them. Otherwise, you can find a lot of my work, like a lot of the short films I do. I'll run them through the festivals for a year and then just throw them on YouTube. So it's under my film company, Elf Twin Films on YouTube, or Elf Twin Films on Instagram, or just Dave Reda on Facebook.
Okay.
I mean, but yeah, that'd be the best. Elf Twin Films on YouTube. There is a lot of stuff I do, just like I'll do a little small project just for YouTube. Like I have a couple of horribly sweet poems and stuff I've written, and I'll have like an artist draw up something from the poem, and then I'll speed the footage. So it takes about 2 minutes for the person reading the poem to read the poem, and the artist is drawing a thing, and everybody ends at the same time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Some really cool little, it's just little fun 2-minute stuff, just to keep everybody entertained.
And certainly do so. What's coming up for Dave Reda? We'll find out just 1 minute. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international war-ring author Mia Molson's The Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We'll be back with the amazing actor, director, and screenwriter Dave Reda after this time.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Ray Powers, and boy, are you in luck. Right place, right time. Tuned in to the Mike Wagner Show. You heard me.
We're back with the multi-talented Dave Reda here on the Mike Wagner Show. We, covered a lot of ground here, including As Good as Dead, which is already out as well, too, along with some other movies as well, like Horror of Love, Fright House, and My Undeadly, featuring Michelle Tomlinson and more. And what's coming up for you in 2022, Dave, and what can we expect from you?
Right now, I'm working on some pretty cool projects, some new movies. One of them being this project that's very, very close to my heart. It's called the Morbid Mariachi. What that movie's about, I can't say too much because I don't want to give too much away of the things I'm going to be doing. But the Morbid Mariachi, he's a skeleton mariachi, and he's the avenger of broken hearts. If you use love badly or poorly, or for financial gain or personal gain, or just use love wrong, the mariachi will come to you and he'll sing you his song and make you experience that love and feel that love. And just when your heart's about to burst out of your chest, that's when he reaches in, pulls out your heart, puts it in his guitar case, brings it to the Santa Muerte. She cleans it and then sends it back out in the universe clean. So that's what that movie's about. And then also I'm working on a feature right now called The Chesterfield Witch, which is based on an actual Amish legend. And I love this movie because I feel like it sort of, the way George Romero wrote the rules on zombies, I feel like this one sort of writes the rules on witches. It really tells a really cool witch story and sets some rules down that I kind of feel like will be the rules.
That's really interesting. Sounds like you got a lot going on, Dave, and looking forward to more of what you got, even in 23, 24, 25, who knows? I mean, you got ideas just coming across the board. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Ooh, George Romero for sure. I mean, I was blessed when I was a little kid, it being the time that it was. I snuck into a movie theater with a buddy of mine to see horror movies. And I got blessed to see Dawn of the Dead was one of the first horror movies I got to see in the movie theater. And it just, I'm sorry, Day of the Dead, the third one. Dawn of the Dead's the mall. Day of the Dead was the third one. And the movie itself, what didn't take me so much as much as Bub did from that movie. If you know the movie, the zombie Bub, he's just. It was the first time that I'd ever seen anybody, even though the rest of the zombies are all eating humans and they're bad and whatever. And not that Bub is good, but Bub just has a soul. You know, there's a sort of a human side to him, and it was the first time I'd ever seen anybody make a zombie one of the villains, one of the heroes. And it just always stuck with me. And I think that's really why, if you look at all the movies I do, what I'm doing is I'm showing you the perspective. Everybody always normally looks at it through the human's eyes and what a horrible thing, a monster's chasing me. What if you look at it from the other side, from the zombie's perspective? It's hungry. Or maybe he likes you and you're reading it all wrong. You know, so I was trying to show a little bit from the monster side. What are they thinking? What are they feeling? Because monsters need some love too.
Well, that's why there's love monsters out there. You got that. So
there you go.
Oh, I think we just came up with another movie, The Love Monster. Yes, Mike Myers in it. Or was that the other one? Okay. Ideas are galore. Anything possible when it comes to Hollywood.
No, that's true.
Yes, that's right. What's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Keep fighting, keep punching, keep kicking. This industry will always try to stop you, especially if you're doing something different and following your own path. You're following what your heart tells you to do. They're always going to tell you you're wrong and to stop. And the best thing to do is ignore all that and put it out there. Let the world decide if you're good, not just some people are telling you just, when the world tells you your movie's no good, then maybe it might not. And even then, you know, so many movies have come out that like were supposed bombs and now people love them today. So, I mean, even then, you know, the thing, most important thing is to finish, to have an idea, create it, finish it. Make it, put it out there, keep punching, keep fighting. That's the best advice I could give.
And certainly great advice to Dean as well, too. Once again, we're with multi-talented actor, director, screenwriter, Dave Reda here on the Mike Wagner Show. Dave, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Learned a lot from you. Looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep this up to date. Keep in touch. Love having you back. And
what an honor. Thank you so much, my man.
And of course, you know, being a legend like you and tell us about your upcoming projects. Once again, what's your website? How do people contact? Where can people purchase or check out your works?
Well, awesome is you can see As Good as Dead hitting the festivals right now. And we just played Vegas a couple weeks ago, but we've got some festivals pending. So hopefully it'll be in a town near you. If not, you can check out my stuff. Bit Parts is available all over the place. You can check out stuff on my YouTube, which is my Elf Twin Films on YouTube, or Elf Twin Films on Instagram, or my Dave Reda Facebook. Check out the new movies. As Good as Dead is out there. Let's see. The Morbid Mariachi is on its way. The Chesterfield Witch is on its way. So hopefully we'll get this to you as soon as possible.
Sounds great. We'll certainly do that. Once again, Dave, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Love having you back. We wish you all the best. And Dave, you definitely have a great future ahead of you.
Thank you so much. Again, it was an honor, man.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionsea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show. Brought to you by international award-winning author Mia Mohsen Zia of Missing. And powered by Sonic Web Studios. Be sure to join us again on over 40 podcast platforms. And of course on the MikeWagnerShow.com, HamiltonRadio.net, and Diamonds FM. Don't forget to support our program with a generous donation at the MikeWagnerShow.com. Thanks for listening.